views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, or the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting organization. If you're interested in producing a program, come talk to us here at Access Fort Wayne. We are a department of the Allen County Public Library. Call us at 421-1250.
Beep bop beep doo dee dee da ba bye da baby doo dee dee da ba bye da baby doo dee dee da ba bye dee dee da doo dee da da
It's the 65th annual Mizpah Shrine Circus.
Come on, everybody, let's go to the circus.
The guy almost spit on me one time. That's all good.
Really?
Yeah.
For holding up a sign saying that animals are abused? Oh, that's great. Have you gotten, what kind of response are you getting from people, if any? Agree,
A lot
disagree?
a lot of people think that they say they eat animals. Like, oh, I eat pigs and I eat.
Well, your sign says it all.
Yeah.
Suffer for our entertainment.
there's-
So, you get some people in favor saying,
Yeah,
way to go?
some people are. They thank us. More people are nasty than anything, but there are some people that thank us for being out here.
I asked what a Shriner is.
I am not entirely
the
sure on the
sponsors
sole
of this.
purpose, but I know they do a lot of work with the hospital.
Yeah, a lot of people are coming. I think he's trying to get a picture.
Okay.
Which is, honorable, but they don't need to use animals. And we can still have a good circus without the animals.
Well, I saw an interview with this guy. He said, we can't have a circus without elephants and cats.
They could, though. There's, like, Circus Soleil and stuff like that is actually, people pay
Right.
money to see a show like that.
Right.
Really,
Well, I mean, they still got the acrobats and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I think that would be cooler than watching
absolutely.
an animal perform like such
against their will.
Right. An animal like that when it's traveling in box cars and, it's like we're talking how many tons of animal there.
Yeah, really, elephants, and I think they chained up even.
Right.
To keep them obedient and in their place and from escaping, and I commend you guys for doing this.
Thank you.
Really standing out here.
Good to hear that.
Yeah, you should come next year.
I will. What's your name? Just give me your first
Lori.
name. Lori.
I'm Bridget.
Bridget. Well,
Yep.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The more people we have, obviously the better chance of them.
I'll put a little something on Facebook or something like this.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it just disgusts me. Every day I get an email about some horrible thing human beings are doing to animals, whether they're slaughterhouses or this or shooting deer in pens. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Where do we think we have the right to do this?
I feel the same way.
Interview on paper? With the news title? Okay. It would be on
Anyway, as I said, I love your sign. Your name is Bridget, and this says it all. They suffer for the entertainment of human beings, and
it's not just the elephants either. It's
cats, all of
the
them,
animals.
horses.
People are just evil.
Yeah, people are evil. That
I
pretty
mean,
much.
if they'll do it to children, they'll do it to animals.
Child abuse, and speaking of children, we're sending a terrible message. These kids
I know, exactly.
who are saying this is acceptable, this is normal.
Yep.
These are cute animals that just
And
live
people
to
don't even realize
entertain
they're
you.
People don't even realize they're putting their own kids in danger. They don't even realize they're putting their kids in danger. I'm talking about the parents that let their kids ride the elephants.
Yeah,
I don't know if they still do that, but if they do, that's crazy.
Last time I came to the circus, which was probably here 10 years, maybe 8 years ago, they had elephant rides. So I said, what gives human beings, what's in our minds that we think we have the right to do all this
I don't
terrible stuff?
I've been out here over the weekend. I wasn't able to do it throughout the week, but I've been here over the weekend.
But there's been protesters
But there's been
every
protesters
day.
every day, yeah.
It says elephants are nice.
I see so many kids reading and walking away and thinking.
Yeah, I don't want to, I know it. You just wish for one show, one day, one show even, these animals could talk.
Right.
And come out here and say, I'm not doing this anymore. Bye. I wish too. I wish I could just go in and let them all loose and see they just get shot or get in trouble. But in a fantasy world, just let them all loose and they all escape.
Like, what kind of mindset do you have as a person that's training them? You know what I mean? Like, how can you feel good about yourself?
You can't possibly treat them properly. I mean, they ride in boxcars. They aren't fed, watered, given attention to. And when they are given attention, it's with whips and yelling and coaxing and getting them to be our trained
it
little...
really only takes common sense to think that do elephants want to do tricks? Like, it's just common sense, and anybody should be able to understand that.
I yearn for the day when human beings are trained by elephants.
God, that would be good.
Elephants. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Man, we hunt out animals, we eat them, Anyway.
I mean, there's a difference between the circle of life and, I mean, I eat animals, I'm not going to say I don't, but what I'm talking about is torturing them to do tricks. That's not the same thing. Not to me.
Yeah, and totally against their will.
Right.
You know, and you say, well, animals can't speak. They can. Not with words, but anybody with common sense can tell an animal. You know, I think it's because I have pets. That's one reason. I think of how horrible it would be for them to be trained and taken out of the house and put in here.
You should watch that, though, that Apology to Elephants. It's like an hour long, but it shows how they take them as babies and break them down. Like, they take them away from their parents right at an early age and start to break them down. And it's horrible.
Terrible.
Sandy Reed.
Sandy, nice to meet you.
And this is my grandson, Noah.
Well, hi, Noah.
Tell him hi.
Hey, you guys are great to be out here.
Thank you.
And I love to see a kid your age here because so many kids are coming in and you're helping to tell people this isn't right, especially kids your age.
Absolutely.
Who
We're just
come
trying
here
to bring awareness to the
and
cruelty involved in the training of these animals.
Training, the performing against their will.
The traveling around, the conditions that they're kept in, the fact that they're ripped from their mothers at such a young age, their spirits are broken, they're beaten to perform these unnatural acts, and I don't understand how so many people can be so ignorant to the facts of what happens in these animals' lives. The people walking by us have nothing but rude comments.
That's terrible. I mean, it's one thing to come here, another thing to make fun of somebody that's trying to stand up.
It's insults, and I think it comes from the fact that on some level they know what they're doing is wrong. They're perpetrating, they're keeping it going. They're,
They don't want to be reminded. You're the reminder, so they take it out on you. That there's a distinction between what you're doing, protesting animals being used for the entertainment of human beings against their will in horrible conditions, and a circus. And I saw an interview with the Shriner wearing that silly hat. I'm not a fan of Shriners for doing this circus. I mean, I'm a fan of them, but circus, like you said, is great. He said you can't have a circus without elephants and cats.
You can. Talk to
and
Ringling Brothers.
Absolutely.
Talk to Barnum and Bailey.
Absolutely.
Talk to Cirque du Soleil. They're a huge moneymaker. They don't have animal acts. They're not necessary.
I think that says it all.
They're not necessary.
That was a rationalization. Maybe it helps them make money here.
Well, and research the Shriners. 3% of the money they raise goes to any charitable organization. They're one of the worst charities in the world.
3% of what they raise?
3% goes to any charitable organization, goes to anything with the hospital. They try to say that they're this huge money-making charitable organization. Research who you're giving your money to.
Oh my gosh, I am not a fan.
Go to what you think it goes to.
So,
People need to be aware of what they're doing and what their actions are doing.
so 3% of their...
Research it. I'm not pulling
No,
the
no,
numbers out of
I'm
the
sure
sky.
you're not.
No, I'm telling your audience.
Yeah.
Research where you're giving your money to. Research the Shriners. Research, Google how to train an elephant and witness what these animals go through.
And there's another lady told me they're ripped from their
Absolutely.
mothers,
They're
their
ripped from their
babies.
mothers when they're babies. Their feet are bound. They're chained short. They gotta have their spirits broken before they can even begin to train them.
Think
It's
what...
absolutely appalling.
And human beings go out and do this of their own free will.
Absolutely.
Take these animals. Oh, it's horrifying. We might, as a species, be the most reputable of them.
I believe we are.
You know, there's wonderful people like you two, but overall, I just lose more faith every day.
Absolutely. But you know, you have to keep looking for the good. You have to look for the good always. And if everybody would just try to help their corner of the world be a better place, we could make a difference.
Well, that's well said, and that's why I came out here. I mean, I figured...
I spoke to you yesterday, didn't I?
No, I wasn't here
You weren't here
yesterday.
yesterday? I thought you were the gentleman I talked to yesterday. Are you okay, buddy? You need both feet to sit on?
I'll give you... Noah, you want to say anything?
Do you want to say anything on camera? Do you want to talk about how much you love animals? Tell the man how much you love animals.
The most.
Well, look at him.
The most.
Love animals,
Well,
don't
Noah, you know what? You're a little hero because most kids your age are going in, and I want them to love the circus and enjoy it. But the animals, that's a different story completely.
Truth is good always.
Look, man, the point is that if we love our world and love our life, then we have to make stance. We have to stand for something. What I would like to put on tape is, I asked a question in class. I took abnormal psychology out at Ivy Tech, and I asked a question in the abnormal psychology class. The teacher fell on some black ice, and I asked the substitute teacher, why was the ice black that she fell on? Why was it called black ice? Then I said, was it called black ice because the asphalt was under it, and hence the ice was unable to see, apparently, because it was transparent, and the asphalt being black made it black ice? Or why was it not called clear ice, or ice you couldn't apparently see? But anyway, there's a very serious stigma that's associated with the color black. So the next week when the teacher came to class with her arm and the bandages and everything, she explained she fell on black ice. Then she said she wanted to ask the class what was the meaning of abnormal. And Becky had purple hair and red sunglasses. She said, class, in the example of Becky being purple hair and red sunglasses, how is she to be viewed in the conservative society? Then one of the other kids raised their hand and said she's probably to be looked at as different, strange, discriminated against. And then she said, class, are there any more examples of things that would cause people to be discriminating against you? And I raised my hand and I said, the way the term black is used in society. And she said, we're not gonna have that. She reprimanded me in a very stern voice, like I was a 6th grader or something. And I asked her a simple question. Did you not ask me to give an example about the use of the word black and how it's being used in terms of creating animosity and hate and prejudice and fear? And when I did that, then she got very loud and I asserted my position and the question asserting that you asked me to present the question. I wasn't angry or irate. I was assertive though, and I'm not 6th grade, so I don't need to be spoke to. I'm at least as old as she is. At that break, I went to try to transfer out of class. I found out she was the one that you have to go to transfer out. So I came back to the class before the class ended, and I was quiet the whole class. So I asked her, where do we go from here, ma'am? She said, well, I'm glad you came back. You know you really scared everybody? I said, I didn't scare nobody. I wasn't threatening, I wasn't gesturing, I wasn't angry, I wasn't beating on the desk. What made you afraid of me? Well, all of the kids, they would have thought you were fearful. I said, that's a cultural bias, being that most of them was upper middle class and didn't want to deal with the issue of why the word black and a terminology that refers to Afro-American people or people of color enough to create derogatory remarks and fear. I said, is this not abnormal psychology? Don't I have a right to ask that question that relates to abnormal behavior? I told her, I'm trying to figure out why since Trayvon Martin, over 48 or 50 Afro-American young men are killed for being black. I told her I was a peace worker. I'm trying to understand what the core of this racist attack against Afro-Americans are. Then I said, can you maintain objectivity while this course goes on so I can learn from this class? She said, yeah, but she never let me finish the statement. Also, in the context of that, she made it very clear that she was not going to honor my position, that I could not. I said, I thought the teacher was supposed to help the student learn to be able to go deeper into the realms of wells of knowledge as it related to the subject matter. She said, no, we're not going to have that in the class. We're going to do it my way or not at all. So hence the word black actually do have taboo that's associated with it. Now, my point is this. Americans, white, black, yellow, and otherwise, the whole country is in jeopardy. Now, Afro-American people may be at the precipice of the cliff first, but there's an unraveling in this country that moral justice, social justice, righteousness, and humanity have to be the mainstay. People are gonna have to care about each other. If not, then it's going to be an unraveling. I'm also concerned about the complacency that Caucasian and non-Afro-American people have when you speak about the plight of Afro-American people. Nobody want to leave their comfort zone to deal with the realities of the atrocities and the victimizations that's going on. Certain sectors don't, other people do, and I applaud them for that. But we, the people of the people, for the people, that the government would not perish for the earth, that could be a real reality if we choose as American citizens to work together to be humane to each other, respectful to each other. Why is it that there's not a sharing of wealth amongst Afro-American people in America? They let you run a basketball and a football and sing and dance. But in mainstream economic development, we are totally marginalized. If you look at the construction industry in Fort Wayne and the business industry in Fort Wayne, there are little or no Afro-American people at the top of the money chain. And they say it's not because of education or qualification. That's not true. That's not accurate. I've been here over 30 years and they say the same damn thing. They're not given the opportunity. And these sellout Afro-Americans that's up there clowning, pretending, and kissing butt in all these organizations are minimizing the development of their people. They're not standing up for rights, principle, freedom, and truth the way Dr. King and our ancestors did early on. We have to come together and form a more perfect union, all people. And the disenfranchisement of one segment of the society is going to end up with the disenfranchisement of the entire society. And that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
This is not an American government. This is an America empire that's premised on dictatorship based on the Roman theological principle of rule and conquer, and who he has the power and the might rule. This is what we are in jeopardy of. And by our own strength and power and arrogance and negativity, we're going to bring this whole house of cards down. The good people of America must stand up and treat the land sacred, treat the natural resources sacred, treat people sacred, and stand up for truth and teach children how to stand up for truth. If this do not happen, you can kiss the country goodbye. America as we know it will be gone.
Wow.
There you go. James Jones.
James, brilliant. Thank you.
Another point I want to bring up. Every time police violence on the Afro-American community is brought up, they bring up, well, Afro-Americans are violent on each other. But any psychologist and any right-minded thinking individual knows for a certainty that when you are marginalized and when you are oppressed and mistreated and you're not given the opportunities to do for self, that hatred becomes internalized and you begin to objectify that hate on the people close to you. When you're angry at somebody on the other end of the telephone and you hang up the phone, for example, it's not the person on the phone you mad at, it's the person right next to you that do the least little bit of thing that you take out the expression to some degree of that hatred or anger on. And it is a marginalization to say that we don't have to respect killing you because you kill yourselves. We're killing ourselves because we're sick and we're broken and we're caught in a cycle of violence that's the result of not being able to function our intuitive drives, our knowledge drive, our principle drive, our life drive, our health drive, our business drive, our home drive. All of these drives have been stagnated, so we're not able to build a healthy self. And because we're not able to do that, the implosion of the pain and the injury and the anger mounts up and we take it out through internal negativity on one another. But that's still no justification. The representatives of the law are held to a higher principle in the law. We are American citizens. We must be respected. Our rights must be protected. And if you're not fit to give proper leadership in policing and protecting, then you should take a day off, buddy. That's what you should do. You do not have a right to kill our sons, our daughters, our mothers, or our fathers in the name of enforcing the law. Kill over a cigarette. They selling cigarettes on the corner for a penny in New York, and you gonna kill somebody over that? Put them in a situation where they can't breathe? You absolutely insane. And you need to be put somewhere and psychologically evaluated. And that's pretty much what I gotta say. But everybody needs to get involved. If you do not protect everyone's human rights as American citizens, then you cannot protect nobody's rights. Everybody's in jeopardy. One more other point that I want to talk about. And that's about the cruel and unusual force that police officers throw people on the ground that are not resisting, putting their knees on their neck and all of that, not knowing the health or the condition of that individual. These are American citizens that they are putting on the ground. Now, why would they do that to American citizens? They are debasing our rights. We have a right to walk around and to do business under the Constitution of the law of the United States of America, and we are protected under that law. So why are we being mistreated? Why are we being mistreated and police are being excused? God himself is not going to permit this to go on. And I'm done on that one.
Los sucesos en la vida reflejan el ser interior. Los sucesos en la vida, de la vida y en la vida.